It is the only way that we will continue to have the level of success that we have been having. And as Miss Giddens said, if we should compare Charlemont to other schools, trust me, we are way ahead of a lot of schools. And I tell you that those brand name schools that you hear of, trust me, they are having real issues. They are nowhere close to where we are. So please, parents, if you have any issue at all, please feel free to reach out to me, to reach out to Miss Giddens, to reach out to your teachers. We have a wonderful guidance counseling team. Please, if there is anything that you need, please reach out to them. There was an incident, I will not elaborate much on it, but just to say that if you have any issues, communicate with the school, let us solve it together. Please, that is all I will say on the matter. On a more personal note, I did a COVID test today and it came out positive, but thanks be to God, my family also did the test and no one tested positive. They are all negative. So I am giving thanks for that. So parents, I'm going to remind you, please to follow the protocols. Sanitize, wear your mask, social distancing, and please, if for any reason you're feeling ill, because on Friday it was a simple headache, normal fever, but I decided to be sure on the safe side, I would do the test, and lo and behold, I am positive. But it is what it is. We will recover. So please follow the guidelines so you can all be safe. The students did the devotion, and one of the songs that they sang was Christ is real. COVID is real, but I can assure you, Christ is also real. So whatever issues we are having, we can bring it to Jesus. All right? It will be solved. Whenever you have any problem at all, we can rock upon Jesus, and that is always an option. Let us rock upon Jesus. Just to inform you that help is also on the way from the Past Student Association, the New York chapter. Ms. Giddens mentioned that we are getting 100 and odd laptops from, I think, the ministry, some organization from the ministry. But the New York chapter, they have said to me, Mr. Legislator, don't worry, help is on the way. So we should be getting some tablets in short order, and the students who are on path will benefit from that. You will hear much more as the days go along. So parents, I always focus on one thing. So I'm going to advise you of what I tell myself. Whenever there are issues, don't dwell too much on the issues and the problems. Let us try to find the solutions. And together, we will find the solutions. Have a wonderful evening, and I will be here. So if there are any questions at the end, hopefully I will be able to answer them. Mrs. Weir, thank you.
I was hoping that your test result would have been negative, but as you say, God is in control and He will sort things out in the required time. All right, Mrs. Sullivan, if you're in the meeting, please address our parents. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
We're hearing you now.
Mrs. Well, okay. Yes. Good afternoon to you all, parents, teachers, Guardians, I just want to say good afternoon and happy to meet you in this forum once more. This is our first PTA meeting for this, well, our PTA meeting for this term, the batch PTA. So I really want to say to the parents, welcome, um, and really hope that you will find this meeting very beneficial. I just want to say to the teachers who are on also, I mean, commendation. Teachers, you are doing a wonderful job. Um, the teaching learning process, I know it was difficult to cope with at first, but I think you're all doing a wonderful job now. So commendation is in order. And for the parents, some of you are giving your children excellent support. So I also commend you parents. The support is what the children need in this time for teaching and learning to be successful. I know it's not easy, especially initial stage, but I think that most of you or most of the students have now catch on to the process and they are doing a fairly good job. And based on the feedback that um, one would been getting from the teachers, most of the students are doing a wonderful job. So parents, you need to commend them and you need to encourage them. My words to you today, parents, is empowerment. Empowerment can do a great deal. It's you're gonna think about ways how you can get your children, get the best education for your children during this pandemic. Um, we know it's not easy as I said before, but you think out of the box and see how much you can help your children to cope. I mean, there are many ways in which you can help them to cope. You can be there just to offer words of encouragement from time to time. And especially those of you at home, just check to see what is happening from time to time and offer them that encouragement. Help to provide their meals, ensure that they have a good breakfast in the mornings. Ensure, check on them from time to time that they're not falling asleep and they are not watching what they should not be watching during class time. They should be in the teacher's classes. Just ensure that they take a breather from time to time, take their lunch break, and just refresh themselves and report for the class, the afternoon classes in good spirit. So I'm asking you, in whichever way, whatever creative way you can come up with, just encourage, just empower them, giving that empowerment that they need for them to succeed. Um, they, they need your support as much as possible. I know some of your parents will have go out to work, leave them in the mornings. Maybe some there are some parents who maybe are on shift, but it's going to take you may ask for you to make extra effort to assist them. Um, it will pay off in the long run. It will pay off. So make do the best you can to get the best of your children. Um, the challenges are there for you, I know, but you know Jamaicans are great at overcoming challenges. So I know you will step up. The challenges are there for the teachers. Oh gosh, there are so many challenges for the teachers. But as I said earlier, that I really commend the teachers for how they have been performing so far. The challenges are there also for the students, but hang on, there will be light at the end of the tunnel for all of you. Um, Miss Gideon made mention, and I just want to stress it again, um, that we'll be getting 137 tablets. Please make note that the tablets, well, it's not tablet, it's laptops. They are for students that are on path for grades 10, 11, 12, and 13, none for lower school as yet. So I'm just repeating it, emphasizing it, so that the calls don't come and the visits don't come to school saying that my child needs to get one. Yes, your child might, if your child is on part, they might get a tablet soon. But the ones that will be getting, I'm not too sure how soon. The names are already submitted to the ministry. It's only for grades 10, 11, and 12 and 13 students that are on path. All right? Hopefully, when another set comes, the other grades will be considered. So I'm saying this to your parents so that you don't call or come visiting and requesting um, laptop. Um, I just want to say to you that continue to reach out. A number of you have been reaching out to us for some reason or the other. Um, where where help can be, where we can help, we are always there for you. The guidance counseling department, they have been doing a marvelous job. The three guidance, and they will always be there to so you just reach out to this to this the school's office if needs be. We will always be there to help sort you out. So once more, I want to say to you parents, I hope, so if you have any issues, that they will be sorted out at the end of this meeting, and just continue to be there for your children. God bless you. And for those of you who celebrate Easter, I hope you will have a holy, peaceful one. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Sullivan. Thank you very much, our school management team. We will now have an address by Mr. Walker or Mrs. Johnson. Mr. Walker is having some technical issues at this point in time, so I think Mrs. Johnson will be filling in for him. I'm not sure how they have sorted out themselves, but I think that's the right communication I have. Okay,
Yes, you
right,
are
Mr. J?
correct.
All right.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon again, parents and my colleagues. We are happy that we are all as well as we can be this afternoon. My name is Mrs. Elliston Johnson. Some of you might be familiar with me. If you're not, I'm one of the guidance counselors. Mr. Walker is one of our other guidance counselors, and we have also Miss Edwards as the three guidance counselors in our department at Charlemont. Mr. Walker is the point person assigned to grade 8, so you will communicate with him most often, but we are all available and accessible to you. So this afternoon, I'm happy that you are able to make it on, and I will give Mr. Legislator some good news. We have exceeded the 100, and we welcome those who are watching on YouTube. If you have friends who are telling you, messaging you that they're not getting onto the Zoom link, can look in the chat. We have placed the YouTube link in the chat. You can copy it from there and send it to them, as well as I've sent it out to some of the teachers who can forward it to other parents who are not able to get on Zoom. As you know, Zoom is a paid service, and the more persons you want to accommodate in a meeting, the more you have to pay. And with school being out, you know that our funds have significantly been slashed. The government is bleeding money from all the impact that COVID has had on our economy. And I know some of you are in the same position where you feel like money is bleeding out of your house and your children have more demands. Instead of just finding them lunch money and bus fare to go to school, you know, have to pay for data every day, or you have to pay for Wi-Fi. You have to get tablet. If I had $1 for every time I heard a parent say, the child mash up the tablet, I would be so rich I could retire. Because even though you have to work so hard and try so hard to get them the devices, I know sometimes they do not take the care that they should of these devices, and it is a taxing experience for you. So this afternoon, I'm going to share a brief video with you, and then I'm going to just talk to you about some of the things that we can do to improve our well-being and help our children to do well despite the challenges of the time we're in. So I'm going to share a video with you shortly, and then we're going to have a little talk.
You see this fabulous place? I don't want to know if I'm feeling not you. I don't want to tell you no lie, but my conscience a prick me say not tell you no lie. I don't feel me a boss in a people place. Next thing I then catch me, then go run me out time. No, not the case. It's dear friends of mine that they call family. And they have invited me down, and I'm enjoying myself. And look here, over here, pool, fabulous water. But me not go in there, you know. Me not go in there because I'm afraid of pool. Because one time, you see, me going on pool and me reach right at the shallow part. So me never know nothing about pool, and me the things the pool level. So meaning say I like shallow. Me say, me make one step and whoops, me go right under water. It's a good thing. Me could have paddled my way out. So, me now go in there because me have a phobia feet. But I'm enjoying myself, and I want you to know that you must find a little time, sometime in our life, to just enjoy. If it's even a day, a half a day, or a quarter day, because with all what I got on in the world and now COVID and all, and seeing the people stress. Some are not living in some cubicle, no can come out. Some are not living in some cozy nook. If you know the partner in there, the partner have to turn sideways if you not pass, or sit down somewhere so you can't pass. Thank God. Right here now, we have the opportunity of being out in the open. And God is so good. Look, the vegetation, the wonderful things. So, make us appreciate what we have, because some of us not got it. Some of us don't have the opportunity even to experience it. So whatever we do in life, let's be appreciative, because let me tell you something. Life is good in spite of its challenges, and we have to create, extract from life some goodness. You hear? So take on your time, work good, and good dopey. We always follow uno. That Miss Lucy, so you know.
All right, so there is our well-known Oliver Samuels giving us some tips on how to get through this COVID experience. What are the lessons we can extract from this video? As one of the things that he said that stood out to me and was most significant to me is that he said sometimes you have to extract from life the goodness. And we tend to often just let life happen to us. We say, this is happening on the job, the pit them do this, my co-workers doing that, the cost of living, the government, there are all these people having an impact on us. But what do we have power over? What do we have control over? And if we put our focus on things that we have control over, our power over, we'll find that we can improve our lives even in a small way. And it's something that I've been encouraging persons to do, to engineer happiness into your day. You have to sometimes take what you have and be creative with it for it to come out to be something happy. So today, probably wherever you live, probably it rained, probably your children are being noisy. You couldn't concentrate. Probably you had a lot of work to do where you are. Probably you really would have, you didn't get enough sleep over the weekend. And you really would have preferred if you got an extra day in the weekend and today wasn't at a work day for you. Those are problems. Those are things that you probably have no control over. But we can look at those things and say, okay, I can't make a new day on the weekend. I can't quit the job I'm in, or probably I can, but not right away. Maybe I can make a plan to find a job that's less taxing or in a more pleasant work environment. What do I have control over? Can I get home, make something quick for dinner, and get into bed earlier so I get a little extra rest? Find those little rays of light in your day. Now, some of you are going on. We've been a year in the pandemic and you've been going on. You're not even checking in on yourself. Now, these are some things you need to check on to realize that you are burnt out, you are overtaxed, and you need a break. Are you having frequent headaches? Some people, it might manifest as backaches, pains in your legs, those are signs of stress. Recently, I had a pain in my foot for no reason. I had no recollection of hitting the foot, falling, or anything. But I realized after a while, I stopped and tuned in and realized that the pain seemed to have gotten worse as the week went on. And particularly on Thursday is a very heavy day for me, work-wise. And as the day was getting to later and later, and I was feeling more and more tired, I realized that the foot pain was worse. It was not I was walking around more, and it clicked to me. This pain in your leg is not a physical pain per se, it's a symptom of your stress. So sometimes pain in your body in different ways. You may think it's that you hurt yourself, or you wring your foot, or you twist your hand, or why this hand feels so stiff. I have this pain in my muscle and I don't remember what I lift up heavy. Sometimes it's just a manifestation of stress because you haven't stopped to listen to your body. So, or you even to listen to your thoughts about what's happening to you, how you're really feeling, checking in what's going on with me. So your body start manifesting it outward. And mine was just a pain in the foot. And good thing that I had the training and experience to realize I'm manifesting my stress in a physical way that I was able to say, okay, you know what? I can't stop now, but tomorrow I'm going to take it an easy day. I'm going to stop worrying about all the things I can't control and make tomorrow an easy day. Guess what? Foot pain gone. The foot pain that I was enduring for a whole week, I got all x-ray form to go to the doctor. I didn't have to waste my money. I was so happy because that would be money that I did not want to spend. So sometimes you have to stop and check in with yourself. What is the source of this pain? Am I taxing myself too much? Am I working my body too hard? Am I not resting enough? You have to check in. And guess what? These check-ins that I'm giving you are not just for you as parents. They are for your children as well. You see them complain about some pain, ache, headache, belly ache, and you're wondering, what this pitney have fair complain about backache? This up in the back not do nothing. This up in the foot now go nowhere. They not lift one plate in our house. But every minute them have this pain or them complain about. It might be a sign of stress for them. So it might be a mental strain that they're not able to process by talking about it or sharing with you. But it comes out in a way that it's easy for the body to say. It's like a signal to the body because you're not paying attention to the brain. The brain's just so a long time, but you didn't stop to give it a chance to rest. So it's now coming to manifest. Some people get rashes on their skin. Sometimes it's an itching, so stress can come out in your physical body. And if you leave it long enough, it will actually manifest into a heart disease or some other disease that you need medication for. It's not just, sometimes we think of thoughts as just little things floating in the wind, but your body and your mind are very much connected. So you have to pay attention, because at first it might be just a symptom that you can deal with by changing your mindset. And before you know it, it's manifesting into a full-blown disease that you need medication to treat. So sometimes you find yourself feeling negative or overly critical. And I'm saying this going for both parents and children. Your fuse just short. At the drop of a hat, you snap at them. Or you find that they have an attitude with you. You ask them one simple question and they have an attitude. You read over your work today? Every minute, yeah, ask me, yes. And you were just checking. Sometimes it's not that they want to be rude, but they themselves are so anxious about doing the work that even the mention of it, they blow up. So instead of taking the irritability or the child saying, me can't do this, me can't do that, me no know if I find it. Some of them, even when they're having exams now, they call me, Miss, I can't find the classroom. Look here, click this, and I have to walk them through it step by step. Oh, I see it now. Sometimes I have to take the link and send it to give them directly, because it's in them classroom and them telling me they're not seeing it. It's on the WhatsApp group and them telling me they're not seeing it because they're so stressed out. They must say, Miss, me don't know what to do. Miss, me not gonna bother do your exam. Miss, me just gonna left it. It look like me just gonna fail this test. That negative thinking and being overly critical might be a sign that they are under immense stress. So sometimes you just have to slow them down. You have to give them a word of reassurance. You have to give them a word of encouragement. On Friday, I got on with some students after the end of the first week of exam. I said, listen, all if you fail all of the exam, them, we still love you. It's not the end of the world. It's just one exam and it's just one term. You will live to fight again. Sometimes that's all I need to hear to pump them up, to get them to say, all right, Mommy still loves me, Daddy still loves me, I'm still important, I'm still valuable. I'm gonna do my best. And that's what I told them, do your best. Because if you leave them in that state of stress, it's like sapping the energy from them. They can't remember things that they know, and you know they know it, just because they're under so much strain. So you're giving them that word of encouragement that tells them, so listen, just do your best. Even when you give your best, if you give your best and you still fail the paper, we're going to try again next year, next month or next term, just by telling them that you've put some fuel into their tank for them to do that exam and do the best, and next thing you know, they passed it. But if they went in there with that stress on their mind that you're going to kill them, you're going to mash them up, and you then waste your money one way, you're going to do, you add more stress to the schoolwork. That in itself would have been such a big block for them. They did not perform as they could have. And same for you. Sometimes you have to step back and lift some of that stress off your mind. So we talked about the irritability. You feel exhausted and you don't even know where the exhaustion is coming from. You feel physically sick. So those are some of the signs. You feel anxious, right? Sometimes you feel hopeless, and as if you're not a good parent, or you're not a good worker, or everybody else is getting ahead and you're not getting ahead. Sometimes you just feel numb. You're just rolling through the days. You never know when you go sleep, and by the time you shut your eye, you wake up back in the morning. You open your eye in the morning. You don't know, it coming like 5 minutes past since you close your eyes. These are signs that you need to take a break, that you need to stop and take stock of who you are and how you're feeling. Some of you lie in bed, you're tired as ever, you're drained, but you cannot sleep. And these things, as I keep saying, going back to, it's happening to you as a parent, it's happening to your children. I have children who tell me, Miss, I'm not falling asleep till 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm lie down in the bed, like my head just a race, I can't sleep. And then 3 o'clock, I drop asleep, and I now wake up till school start already, 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I miss the first class. It's keep on happening, and I fall behind, especially in our first class. I feel like give up because they're so stressed that they're not even sleeping properly at night. and the same might be happening for you. So let's talk about now how you can, what can you do? What can you do for your children? What can you do for yourself, right? The first thing, as as simple as it might seem, get more rest, get more sleep. And getting more rest might mean you might have to turn off the TV at an earlier time, turn down the lights in the house, get off the phone, get them off the phones and the devices earlier, so the brain recognizes that it's time to rest. So it starts powering down when you don't have those bright lights and things like that, right? Make yourself a comfortable bed, a warm beverage in the evening, eating nuts in the evening like almonds or cashew nuts are good. Even peanuts are good for drinking chamomile tea, mint tea. Those things can be relaxing and settling, right? Probably that time, that half an hour before bedtime is a good time for the family to talk. Talk about what happened in your day, or share a funny story, or just share what you are grateful for that happened today. We lived through this day. Nobody was COVID positive. Or thank God we lived through this day. Our vice principal is COVID positive, but he is well. And we thank God that he is one of the persons who fared well having caught it. That's something to be grateful for. We're grateful that we could catch some of the PTA this evening, right? And we didn't have any bad news. We didn't have anybody who said they lost a family member or something like that, right? That's something to be grateful for. We have something to eat. We have family members inside our house to share with. You know, some people are going through this thing alone. That's a time that you can use to do that, just to calm yourself and settle your mind. That's something you can do half an hour before you go to bed, and try to move the bedtime earlier and earlier. Try to go to bed at the same time every night and wake up at the same time every morning. So you kind of program your body into a routine, right? Other things you can do, look at your nutrition. Sometimes the source of our stress can be fixed by nutrition, exercise, and getting good sleep, right? Those are the basics to keep taking care of your body. Even making sure that you have a shower, and you are making sure your child have a shower every day. Even that in itself can lift your mood and your sense of well-being. So sometimes we're looking for some big things. We wish we would have get more money. We wish we would have changed our job. We wish we could have moved from where we live. We wish we could have get one tablet or one of the laptop Miss Sullivan talked about. We wish all those grand things would happen to us. We wish we could have win the lotto. We hear someone man with the jackpot, I couldn't me hit the jackpot. We're wishing for those big things to happen to us, but some simple little things we can do that can make a big difference. Treat yourself to a snack that you enjoy, right? Find little ways to engineer and create happiness in your day, right? Drink more water. So when your body is dehydrated, when it's not properly nourished, when it's not getting enough sleep, your body does not have the wherewithal, your brain does not have the wherewithal to think creatively and come up with new and different ways to engineer happiness, right? Some of your children need supplements. They are growing rapidly, especially the 8th graders, right? They're going through growth spurts. Sometimes they're not eating enough fruits and vegetables, and they need extra vitamins to help them to feel more energized. Probably they need a tonic, probably they need some multivitamins. You can try that, and you can try that for yourself. It goes for all of us. They're on the phone for school. One of the things you need to do is encourage your children and yourself to disconnect from your phone. Sometimes you put on your phone for even half an hour, because everything is happening on the phone. But put on your phone for even half an hour at some point during the day. Be unreachable for even 30 minutes in the day, and just forget about the phone, and see the difference it makes in how you feel to just disconnect. Don't go on your TV, just lie down somewhere or sit somewhere, drink a cup of tea, have a conversation with somebody in the room with you, If you like drawing, just get a piece of paper and just start draw. It's nice to even get, like, you know, they have adult coloring books. You don't need an adult coloring book. You can get even buy one like a cheap coloring book at bookshop, and just take that 30 minutes and color a page. Just a moment to just still your mind. If you can't get 30 minutes, take 10, right? Every day, and see the difference it makes, and encourage your children to do the same. Encourage them to go outside and get some sun. When we get break at 10:40 for lunch, encourage them to even sit under a tree outside and eat the lunch. The sunshine, the vitamin D makes a big difference in how you feel, right? And we've been sending out some mindfulness tips into the parent groups and the student WhatsApp groups. Take advantage of them. One of them last week says, go outside and think about the weather and how it feels on your skin, whether the sun was shining or the rain was falling. Just take it in. Just be still for a moment, right? Prioritize fun. Prioritize fun for yourself and prioritize fun for your children. They still have to be children. I saw something this morning where a parent said she's trying to be the fun parent to her children. She wants her children to remember her as a fun parent. And it made me think, in years later, will my children think of me as a fun person? They may not remember everything I say, but what is the sense they'll have of me in their mind? Will they remember me as somebody that brought them joy? And it made me more conscious of how I interact with my children. Do I greet my children with a smile? When they call my name, am I like, yes? Or am I excited or interested to hear from them? And as a parent, I can relate to, you've heard mommy a million times and you would like your ears to get a rest. But that parent that said that reminded me that I'm building a certain picture, an emotional footprint in my child's mind for the future. They won't remember the nitty-gritty and the day-to-day and the good things I probably was trying to teach them when I was being stern. But what is the overall impression that they'll have of me? Was I a loving and warm place for my child? And I want to be that. And I think that would be good for me if I wasn't always grouchy and angry and irritable, but I was able to check myself and return to my happy place, return to my place of well-being. And I encourage your parents to do the same. It serves you and it serves your children to stay in that place of balance. And don't if you forget everything I've said this afternoon about getting proper rest and nutrition and drinking water and finding that 30 minutes before bedtime to unwind and be grateful. If you forget all of that, remember, you have the power to engineer happiness into your day through small choices. You have the power to engineer happiness into your day through small choices. So if you forget everything else, I want you to remember that. Look for those opportunities to engineer happiness into your day through your small choices. Have a good evening. Thank you for listening. And I hope you were able to take something from this experience. Ms. Swear?
Thank you very much, Mrs. Johnson. Thank you for filling in the gap for Mr. Walker. Miss Johnson, a student of ours, will be doing a presentation now. Saskia, raise your hand so Miss Johnson can identify you.
You can unmute now, Saskia.
Good evening, everyone. I'll be singing a song, Try Everything. darkness. Birds don't just fly, they fall down and get up. Nobody learns without getting wrong. I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end and then I start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end and then I start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. Oh, 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 try everything. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 try everything. Oh, 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 oh. Look how far you come. You fill their heart with love. Maybe you've not enough to take a breath. Don't beat yourself up. Don't need to run so fast. Sometimes we come last, but we did our best. I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end and then I start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end and then I start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. I'll keep on making those new mistakes. I'll keep on making them every day. Those new mistakes. Oh, 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 try everything. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 try everything. Oh, 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 oh. Try everything.
Thank you very much, Saskia and mommy, parents. I hope that you took something from that because sometimes we need a little motivation, not only from the adults around us, but we can seek guidance from our children. Very well done, Saskia, as I know you would. I kind of know my kids. All right, we are going to be hearing from the form teachers now. I hope they're all present. You, Miss Russell, is the form teacher for 8C, along with Miss Duarte. The form teacher for 8H is Miss Garwood. Form teacher for 8A is Mrs. Forster Campbell and Mr. Ian Wilson. Form teacher for 8R, Miss Sharika Campbell. Form teacher for 8L, Miss Mills. Form teacher for 8E, Mr. Nelson. And I have the best set of form teachers. So I'm just going to let them give you a briefing on what is happening in their respective classes. All right, Miss Russell, Mrs. St. John, you are first. Miss Russell, you are with us?
Yes, miss.
Be here. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Um, as it relates to 8C, well, in terms of attendance, I'm gonna start with the attendance. So far, I've seen the attendance improve, especially during this period of the midterm examinations. I even met one of the students for the first time this morning. So in terms of attendance, the attendance have improved. Some students attend the registrations in the morning. However, they do not attend their various subject classes. So that's an issue that has been pretty much ongoing, especially for the other subject teachers. So they usually come out to my classes, and the numbers are somewhat similar to what I would usually see in the registrations, but the subject teachers have a general issue in terms of the attendance of 8C. Um, in terms of assignments, the students have not been completing all of their assignments on time. Some assignments are still outstanding, even though students are given a long period to submit their assignments. So in terms of assignments, students are tardy with the assignments and attendance is poor. But I think over the few weeks before we began the examination, subject teachers have stated that the attendance have improved somewhat, but it's still a challenge nonetheless. So that's just based off of observation with 8C. So the challenges are just with the attendance and the submission of assignments.
Miss Russell, you're finished?
Yes, miss.
Thank you very much. Miss Garwood?
Good afternoon, parents. The complaints are pretty much the same as 8C. As it pertains to registration in the mornings, I'll have, let's say, an average of 27, so to 31 students online for registration. However, since the examination started, I realized that it has gone up to 35 students. But it's not that these 35 students are attending the live examinations, right? Um, some will come in to sign in on WhatsApp, but I want to remind the parents that if they do not come in and sign live, then they're absent for school. All right, because this is one of the problems that will arise. If they come in and they sign in on WhatsApp and I present them as present, then they will not be able to go on live classes. So they will not be in the live classes for that. And that I think is one of the problems that is happening. Students are marking themselves present in the WhatsApp group and not coming on live. So if they don't have the internet to come on live for registration, they will not have the internet to go into their classes, right? And so the teacher will not see them there. I don't teach grade 8, but the two classes, and this is long standing, that I have complaints for is like for their drama, for the music teachers. Those are the teachers that reach out to me. They complain about attendances. They also complain about them turning over the tardiness to do the assignment. All right, those teachers were made, the parents were made known of this, and then I think they started to turn over some assignments. So basically, that's it as it pertains to 8H. Students who have not been coming online for a while, the parents have reached out to me. They said it has been internet issues or um, the the device has an issue. So basically, that is it for 8H, basically.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Garwood. Mrs. Forster Campbell?
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, parents. Pretty much the same thing. Complaints remains the same for 8A. Um, the students are there for registration, but unfortunately, I'm not sure what happens after the hours of 8:10 until 2:40. Well, I teach them, so they're normally at my class. But I know that some of the teachers do complain that the students are not turning up, especially again for drama and music. That seemed to be the sore point. I I've spoken and I have complained. I do hope that the parents are looking into all these matters and it's not left just up to us as the teachers because we can do so much and no more on our part. So it's not we're in the physical school where we can run behind them and say go to class. They're online sometimes on the WhatsApp doing all sorts of stuff and they're not attending classes. So the Wi-Fi excuse, I am no longer taking that because I do believe that if you can be on the internet surfing or on WhatsApp doing whatever you want to be doing, then you can go to class. So I do I know that I am here speaking to the converted because I was scrolling through the list of participants, and I realized that the parents that I'm seeing are the parents of those who are really going to classes and are doing their best. So I don't know if you know these other parents, so you can pass on the message to them that they need to keep tabs on their child and ensure that they're going to classes. All right. But apart from that, I do believe that I have a class that the students really tries, and all we have to do is just to meet them halfway and try to work with them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Forster Campbell. Now we will have Miss Sharika Campbell speaking about HR.
Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, rather. Um, Again, it's pretty much the same. We're having an issue with HR going to class, but I must say, in comparison to last term, I do have a few more showing up for a class. I still don't have enough showing up for their art class, and I'll definitely like to see some improvement in art and drama, of course. But it's the same issue that we're having with everyone else. I must commend Chandel Smith. She is my class monitor, and I have to tell you, she has been a great help to me and to her classmates as well. Because sometimes when I'm on a class and then students are calling because they need help, I would have directed them to her, and she usually provide the assistance they need. So I must commend Chandel on that. But that's pretty much it for HR. I did see a turnout of over 30 students since exam. I haven't seen that much since about October or November. So, however, I do see where that number has dropped effective today, and I'm hoping that we can get back to that number tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Miss Campbell. Miss Mills.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, parents and colleagues. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we are.
Okay. I must say that for my form class ATEL, despite what is happening around us and the realities that we face, I must say that I'm really proud of my parents and my students. I can give account for 100% of my students in HL. And even if they are not at class, I do get in contact with them. Parents call me. So I'm really proud of ATL. I must say that I'm really proud of my form class. And just like any other form class, the same problem. Sometimes students will come to registration and the amount of students, the number of students registered are not attending classes. And I have spoken to them about it. They know that they're online. Some of them are surfing the internet, but you know, I'm just hoping and praying that they will. I know that there are so many things out there that might be distracted, but apart from that, I'm just hoping and praying that in due time they will find themselves. And again, sometimes because of this, submission of assignments are not done due to they being occupied with something else when they're supposed to be doing their assignments. But apart from that, I'm just saying that, we just need to just continue, trust God, and just hope that things will work out in the best in the future.
Thank you very much, Miss. Mr. Nelson. Mr. Nelson, you're with us?
Hi, good evening,
Okay.
parents, students, and teachers. Um, well, I'm 8E form teacher, and based on what I'm seeing compared to last year, the numbers actually shrink. And some of the parents will get in contact with me for those persons who did not turn up. They will say that they have actually moved from one place to the next, so they lost the codes, so I had to send them over. And in doing all of that, we still don't see the numbers coming up back as yet. And since the exam started, that's when I'm seeing persons turning out. So I think when it comes on to the class time, when they go to the different subjects before, the numbers have been very low. So far, based on the exam, the highest I've seen is about 35, and still not have heard from some of the persons like before. Some of the parents actually will get in contact and say, this is happening, but still not the numbers of for 8E. Recently, some of the students have been complaining to me about internet problems, like based on the location, continue to face internet challenges right there. So they have to keep on trying, like go to different places to try and see if they get the internet. Um, it was a problem, and for those parents who are here, the approach in which I took for 8E was that every student should turn on the camera or have a picture up of themselves, but they should have on the camera. For me, my camera is always on. The students will tell you that. One thing with me, from day one when I started, my camera has always been on. For devotion and even the subject classes, for the other classes that I teach, other grade A classes, the students would also say that Mr. Nelson always has this camera on. So when I actually faced that problem, I told the students of 18 that they need to have a picture up. I remember some of the parents were saying that, such and such is using a desktop, but they still have to work out something right here if it's able to have a camera or to get a picture up of the student so that the teachers can actually admit them in the classes. So that was the approach right here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Nelson, and well done to my teachers. My teachers are hard workers. We have been at this from day one, and if it were left up to my teachers and myself, we would have no issues in grade 8. And I'm sure my parents and my students can attest to that, because from October, we have had some things in place and we only improve on those things that we had implemented, and we have not changed course, we have only gotten better. But just on the matter that has been raised, and I've texted so many times, I've had so many conversations with so many parents. I can't emphasize enough that when it comes on to the children attending the classes and being up and ready for registration, I know you're going to say it is their responsibility, but I'm asking you again in this forum, for those of you who don't call me or don't consult with me, it is a part of your duty to help your children. I've said this on numerous occasions when we had physical school. Some persons never liked when I made those comments, but parents, you cannot leave the children alone. Some of you have to work, yes, but you have to put the measures in place to help the children. Some parents have called, they have expressed parents are in their house and their child has the device open and they're not in class. They're posting on Instagram, they're doing so. Some parents have gone ahead and allowed their child to be supervised by someone, and the same things are happening. You have autonomy over what is happening with your child, and you have to take control. I have always said, and I will continue to say it, that at the end of this pandemic, we have to hold ourselves accountable. And at the end of it all, who are we accountable to? God, right? So the fact that we have not gone on the other side, I mean, we have the issues. We are not lying in a hospital bed. There are so many pluses to us as a graded family. I'm not saying the challenges are not there, but especially when you hear some of what is happening in the other batches, I can tell you that God has blessed us as a batch. Do not take it for granted. In other batches, children are mourning, so many things are happening as a grade 8 batch. We have held it together. God's blessing has poured out on us. At the end of the pandemic, let us have no regrets. All right? Nobody knows how long this thing is going to last for. Nobody knows where it is going. Please, I'm asking you to help the children, because a lot of you have put the measures in place and the children are not attending the classes. You have bought the devices, you have provided the internet connectivity, and your children are not showing up at the classes. And yes, people have all sorts of things to say about the live classes, but for some people, that's how they learn. Some children can go ahead and read and get the content, but for most of our children, they learn on an interactive basis. So parents, you really, 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 really need to step on that and stop letting the children tell you what is happening, because a lot of you have spoken to me and you know that a lot of what you're saying, the information is not truthful. But we can't help you. We can only do what we're doing from our end. You have to be a little detective, and you have to do your little things. You understand what I'm saying? To find out what is happening at home, because we as teachers, we really don't know how to get the information. But you can make somebody pop in, you can pop in. You just have to find different ways to ensure that your time and your effort is not going in vain. You heard at the start of the meeting that even if certain things are going to happen, your children will not be the beneficiary of those. So if tablets and laptops are going to be given away, grade 8 is at the bottom of the scale, basically, right? If school will reopen, we're at the bottom of the scale. I've been saying this from day one. So we have to make the best use of the resources that God has provided us with. And we are shaky in grade 8, but I can tell you, you are tremendously blessed. You are a good group of parents and students, and you have to make all of this worth your while. At the end of the day, nobody can say because of pandemic, I did not accelerate the way I wanted to. So parents, I'm encouraging you again. I'm pleading with you again. Help the children. Please, I'm asking you to help them in the best way you can. All right? You can't drop arms. You have to walk them through the process, okay? And in the process, you have to take care of you. But we have to learn to juggle everything and make sure the end result is ideal for all of us. Okay, guys? Please. We had some challenges with the last report that was issued. I'm not sure if those problems have been ironed out, but for the parents who reached out to me and I could have solved those problems, I did my best. All right. We are going to be having another report session, and that is why I'm kind of stressing some of the things that I have stressed. I don't want a recurrence of what happened in December. You are aware that exams are happening. You have to do what you need to do to help the child. You can't leave it up to them and assume that it is done. You can call the form teacher. They have more insight than me because I will see the children in odd times and at different spaces, but the form teachers have the information on hand. So we went through the first week of exam. Call the teacher Friday, call her Monday morning and say I had to be at work. I'm not sure if John did all the exams. You can do a little checks and balance for me. We're in the second week of exam. So parents, you really have to do your part because as I say, on our end as teachers, there's not much we can do. I've heard of a report where children show you that they have done their assignment and the assignment is not done. You can't take what they are saying. You have to dig deeper. You have to go a little further. I know it's a learning curve for all of us, all right, so you have to learn too in order to learn with the child and in order to help the child. It can't be just what the child is saying that you're taking. You have to be so infused into your child's life now that it is not funny. You have to know a lot more than what you used to know before, because parents, at the end of this pandemic, we have a lot of things to pick up. And if you have less or not much things to pick up, it would be beneficial for all of us, for our homes, for our community, for our nation at large. So we have to work together and we have to hold each other's hands and do our best while we navigate these trying times. All right, I don't know if we have any subject teacher on the platform who would like to update our parents on your particular subject and what is happening with the grade 8 students.
Miss Ware,
Yes?
just gonna interject before the subject teachers jump in. I forgot to mention that the Ministry of Education has approved a child trafficking awareness program, and the school has given its approval to the agencies that are carrying out the training for our children. It's being done in collaboration with the St. Catherine Development Agency and the Winrock Foundation, which is a US-based entity that does work similar to this. They are funding the program. It will be done during class time. It will be integrated into what the students are already learning. So it will not detract too much from what they're already doing. Some of the students would have touched on the topic in HFLE already. But because this is being done by a donor agency, they want to know that in addition to the schools approval, that parents give their approval. So parents, I'm just alerting you that you might see a consent form come around in the WhatsApp group or in their Google Classroom. Please fill it out so we'll have that on record for the students to be participating in this training, which I think is very crucial because some of them, we've had some incidents in recent times where students are not alert to what a trafficker looks like or somebody who is trying to use them for their personal gain and exploit them. So we're trying to get this information to our children. Please fill out the consent form when it comes to your child's Google Classroom or WhatsApp group. That's all we ask. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss J. And just to add to what she just said, please remember the fact that they have access to the internet and to the devices and the many platforms. It is a very easy way for these traffickers to have access to them, and you and I may not be aware of it. All right, so it's really an eye-opener for us all because we are living in trying and serious times. Okay, parents? So don't just take information and brush it aside and say we talk too much at Charlie Mount and you don't have any time to waste with us. Nobody knows when danger will come knocking at your door. And if you can be alert, it is always helpful. Okay, any teacher, any member of staff who would like to update our parents on some of the challenges, some of the good things too, because good things do happen with the grade 8 students.
May I speak, Miss, as a 8C math teacher?
Go ahead, Miss Phil.
Okay, I am really for 8C since the start of the school year. I have been really struggling with the attendance to classes. I do not know if it is because I do have 8C on a Monday, the two last sessions, and on a Friday, the two last sessions. Those 2 days are the days when I struggle. If I see 10 students, I see a lot. Since lately, it's like 5, the most on a Thursday, especially on a Friday, on a Monday too sometimes. Sometimes, most of the times I have to delay my lesson that I want to teach, and I have to teach on a Wednesday because I only have them Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So, and then when I see as a form teacher and when I see the numbers registered for in the mornings, and when I have class, I'm hoping and praying that I can see those numbers. Luckily, one time I had 20 odd, and I was hoping and praying that that number stayed. Unfortunately, it was just a spur of the moment for me. It went back to what it was. And then I'm seeing so many students doing my exam. I'm really wondering what is happening. No attendance at class, but exam is done. So I'm really asking the parents of 8C, please, especially for I'm going to talk about my subject. You cannot be absent. Some of them having problems. Some students they don't come on a Monday, they come on a Wednesday, they don't come on a Friday. They don't come on a Monday, they come on a Wednesday, and then when I'm teaching that topic, they are confused. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to complete the assignment. So I'm really, really struggling with A-Series mathematics. So I'm asking the parents, please to meet me halfway where that is concerned with their children attending mathematics.
Thank you very much, Miss Mills. The problem with 8C is a long-standing problem, and I'm really disheartened with the fact that Miss Mills is a math teacher and the students are not trying to turn up for the class. I often say, especially for the core subjects, and some of the parents who converse with me will say, when they looked at the December reports, the core subjects, the students are just not functioning in the core subjects. And it is important for you to get the foundation. If your parents are open and frank with your children, when you're old, it's harder to learn. You hear? When you're old, your brain gets tough and your brain don't absorb the things as readily. So you must use your youth and use it wisely. Parents, as I said, we can only talk, we can only share what is happening from our end, but you have to be a part of the process. You have to be a part of it. Thank you very much, Miss Mills. Any other teacher who would like to speak on matters concerning the graded students?
Miss, I just want to say because HFLE is on the timetable for an exam, so I just want to advise for those who don't know that there's no HFLE exam for HFLE. However, the button or poster that they're supposed to do, that is going to be their exam grade and it's due on the 24th.
Okay, so you heard that, parents, and all subjects are important because when one subject or two subjects or 5 subjects are not done, it is going to impact the grade and the average. All right, any other member of staff? All right, I guess it's just grade 8. All right, parents, I know some of you have questions and queries. So the floor is open for you. Miss J, you're still with us, so you use the raise hand feature so we can see how best we can address you. Miss Powell?
Sorry, Miss, about that, Miss Powell. Go ahead.
I'm not hearing you, Miss Powell, if you're speaking. It's a little bit low.
Okay, are you
Go ahead, Miss.
are you hearing me now? Okay,
Yes,
good
Miss.
evening,
Try
everyone.
speaking so I
Don't have any Right. I don't have a major issue. However, the simple issue that I'm having is just the usage of the textbooks. Because I paid, $20,000 for my son's book, and honestly, for each book, I don't think 10 pages have been used, as in where the teachers would use it to the students. It's just me to say to him, use your books. So I'm a bit concerned about that. I understand it is challenging for the teachers too, but it was really a lot of money. Understand? And I don't really think the books are being used as I really would like to see them being used.
All right, I'm going to try to see if I can respond to that. All right, you know that the mode of teaching has shifted somewhat, right? So in light of
Right.
us giving out a book list and all of that, we would have, when we were having physical school, the textbook would have been a very important part of the whole teaching learning process. But in light of the pandemic, what you may find is that most of the parents did not even go out and purchase some of the textbook. I just looking at it. All right. So even if the teacher would want to take that approach to say, all right, turn to page X, Y, and Z, and we're going to do that, you're going to find a fallout in terms of those students who are able to follow in that format. So because the technology provides us with a certain amount of leverage in terms of sharing of content, you find that the teachers will post the relevant content in the Google Classroom so the children are able to have access. So the mode of learning and teaching has shifted somewhat. So I think that is one of the reasons why the textbooks are not being utilized. But the same challenge you're having, I went out and bought my daughter's books for school. They're hardly being used, but what I do is encourage her to use them at a self-paced method, because it wouldn't be easy for the teacher to say turn to page 5 and then she have 25 students in the class and only 5 can work along with her. So I think that is the main reason why the books are not being used. But just encourage the child to, do their own personal learning and growth from the material you have purchased. Okay.
Well, thank you for answering the question.
Yes.
So maybe a bit of advice for the next school term is probably you guys could look into the state, or should I say, alter the book list a little bit depending on what will be going on. We don't know God's willing, right? So maybe that is something very important for you guys to look into, because we don't want a recurring of that 20,000, right? So
Right,
maybe
because
it could, I don't know, if we find out put out book for the next year if things remain the same.
Right, because yes, as a country, as a school, we need to look at how our delivery of education in a different way for September. We ought not to be going the same route. All right. And who is your child, may I ask?
Thank you. Oh, he's Ray Powell. He's from 8-8. Ray Powell. He's from 8-8. She's from Teachers Starwood.
That student is a new student, right? If I hear the name properly, right?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Okay. Okay.
Internet.
All right. I just wanted to match a face to the name. All right. Thank you, mommy. All right. Next parent. Thank you very much. Next parent.
The next one would have been Fahinia, something like that. Fahinia.
Mr. J, you see the next parent?
Yeah, I was trying to unmute her, but she put down her hand.
Okay.
She's back.
All right. You have to be so patient with each other. If you touch the wrong button, no problem.
Go ahead, you can unmute yourself now.
the person? Yenya or Yina? Andrea Campbell? Miss Campbell?
Oh, yes, miss. Sorry. Was distracted.
Oh.
The person who is listed as Anne. Your hand is up and you are unmuted. You wish to speak, you can go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good
Yeah,
evening.
I'm Sharon Thomas' mother. Yeah, she did last about by school and then religious education. And I tell me something after bought it back, but when I check out is the new version, so I like to know if I can get that up.
I did not hear you clearly, Anne. What were you saying? What's the name of your child?
Sharon Thomas.
Oh, Sharon. Yes, yes, Sharon, mommy. What were you saying?
Miss, the book I lost was a religious education. And I went to the store to buy it back, but they have the newer version of it. So I would like to know if you still want it.
I don't know if something is wrong with my audio or your audio, but mommy, I'm gonna ask you to text me so I can deal with the matter for you. I think it has something to do with that. Not hearing.
Hello, good afternoon. I've had to mute all participants because I realized that everybody is unmuting. So persons, if you've not been selected to speak, please mind your mic. I'm going to unmute the host and I'm going to allow the meeting to continue. If you haven't raised your hand, if you haven't been identified, please make sure that your mic is muted. All right, we're going back to Miss Ware.
All right, thank you very much, Miss J. Sharon and mommy, as I'm saying, I'm not sure if the problem was on my end or your end, but I could not hear all of what you were saying to me. But I would appreciate a text so I can look into the matter for you. I think it has something to do with a rental book, I'm assuming.
Yes, miss, it was a grade 7 one.
All right, so text me the information so I can work on it and get all the relevant information from you. All right?
Okay, thank you, miss.
Please.
Okay, miss.
All right, thank you. Any other questions or question?
Hello, good evening, Ms. Ware.
Good
evening,
evening.
parents. I was just asking to repeat the question that the teacher had said about the HFLE, where she was saying there'd be no exam. I missed that part.
There will be no written exam, but there is a poster that they're supposed to be making. It will go towards their report grade. So it is an assignment that they need to get done.
Oh, so that would be posted in the Google Classroom or it's already posted there?
I think it's work in progress, right, Miss Campbell? I think they would have gotten the instructions.
I think week before last.
Right. So the process has started. It's just for the completion and submission.
So, okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
All right, so that's it, parents. You are
Mrs.
properly
Ware,
informed.
good evening.
Good evening, Miss
How are
Wright.
you?
I'm fine.
Rev would like to speak.
Okay.
I was just saying, first of all, I'd like to commend the teachers. I really am here every day. I realize that you're very hard-working teachers. And comparing to other schools, I think
It's with me again.
1350
I don't seem to
is to inculcate in the minds of our children the importance of education. However, I would like to say in terms of the textbook, some creative ways could be done in terms of following the curriculum and to ask them, give them some, just to make sure, because if you once let up on these children, they will waste time. If you could give them some assignments in the book that relate to the different textbooks, so that for them to be able to read or to get themselves work into the books and outside of the device when they're not using the devices and so on. They really need to utilize the textbooks, and even if they're not coming back with the work, then you could even ask the parents to supervise the work, but to make sure, especially certain topics that you have and relate to the
Okay, so basically what you're saying is that you're encouraging the teachers to use the textbooks that were purchased. So kind of say on page X, Y, and Z, the same information I just shared with you, you can find it there. That's what you're suggesting, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I never heard all of the what you said. I just heard bits and pieces of it. So I'm trying to make sense of what you're saying. All right,
Yes.
that's a good point. And I've always said to parents and children that even my own children, I said, textbooks are really not for teachers. They are for your growth and development. Textbooks are supposed to be your best friend. But I know it's not easy. If you are not an avid reader, it's not the easiest thing for you to take up a book and go through its content. So yes, a little nudge from the teacher would help, because we know if we don't compel them, then we will get nothing out of them. All right, thank you very much, Rev, for that pointer. Any other parent would like to express something?
Mrs. Ware, may
Yes.
I just
Okay.
say a big word of commendation to yourself. You have worked extremely hard
Well,
since October. I must commend you. You know, sometimes we just go and go and go and nobody says anything. And I really want to take this opportunity on behalf of the parents to thank you. I am there with you every morning. You are on and you are sending out. Even today, I saw the message. What is happening with the children? Yes, they have registered, but they are not in the exam, that kind of thing. Really, it's not easy. It's not easy to manage all these students in grade 8 and to manage your teachers. I know it's not easy. So I
And you
really
know,
want to take this opportunity to commend you.
and you know what I'm going to do for you, Mr.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Wright and Rev.
I'm going to recommend that there will be a promotion for you soon.
Mrs. Where you hear that?
I am not hearing what Rev is recommending.
A promotion for you
Promotion for
soon.
you. So we'll talk about that. And I want to say, before I end, to Mrs. Forrester Campbell and Miss Russell, those are my two, what is it, Russell St. John, I think, 8C.
Yeah.
Yes, want to really commend those teachers because they are my children's form teachers.
It's not Forrester Campbell, it is Campbell. We have
Campbell.
two Campbells,
Right.
yes.
Okay, Campbell, yes. I know it's not easy for them because when you have 40 odd or 30 odd children and you only see 10 or you see 5 or so, and teachers are saying to you, they're not coming on. I know it is not really, you know, it's not easy. So I really want to say to them, thumbs up to them, keep up the good work. Miss Mills also, the math teacher, I really want to say to her, I've been listening to you and I know you feel badly based on the challenges we're having with mathematics and you want them to be on. But you know what?
Don't give up.
Life is like that. Don't give up. So thank you so much. I know that you have been challenged, but we continue to pray for you. Thank you all.
All right. Thank you very much, Reverend Wright and Mrs. Wright. Have a good evening. Okay. Which other parent? Tyra. Miss J. Miss J, I can't help you with this technical side here. Miss J, you're with us still? I know the internet can be all over the place.
Tara, you can unmute.
Tara's grandma. Unmute. Where's Tara to help you? Grandma, you're able to do it? I hope it's her grandma. She normally calls me as she her grandma. I hope I'm not misrepresenting. Yes, good night. You're with us now. Go ahead and ask the question.
Take the microphone for me.
I think it's open based on what I'm seeing. Just talk and let us see what's happening. Oh, you shut out now, so it's not open. This technology and us. All right, you're speaking now. You think you're able to talk now? She's still muted, Miss J?
I think her connection, because I'm not seeing her mic up. Something is wrong with her connection.
Oh, probably it's weak. All right, you want to take
just
other
ask her to type in the chat. You can type in the chat, Tyra, and because your mic is not coming up, we're not hearing you. There is Bailey in the chat that asks to speak. I'm going to ask you to unmute.
Go
ahead.
Good
You're
night,
unmuted.
everyone.
Yes, go ahead.
Good night to Mrs. Ware, as well as everyone that is present here tonight. My problem is this, that two problems I'm having, where in music the teachers normally just Zoom, and being that my child is using data, it's very difficult for her to Zoom on the data, because the moment you start to Zoom, you could put on it doesn't matter how much data you put on, it is going to run out. So therefore, my child have it very difficult to join the music class. Right now I'm using a friend Wi-Fi, that's it. And it's just because I want to be in the PTA meeting why I am at my friend's house, because with this virus thing and with my health condition, I need to stay home, right?
Yes, we understand.
And I think that is a serious problem for my child, not just music, but also for Spanish, right? Where those teachers do only Zoom classes. It could be that I could recommend that they switch it up a bit, and maybe they can Zoom and also Google Meet, instead of just having some children not being able to join the classes because of data issue, because it is a real problem. For some people it is not, but for those who are using data, it is a serious issue. It consumes a lot of data.
Okay. What class is the child in, may I ask?
My child is in 8L. It's Nakia. It's in 8L, yes.
Who is the child?
Nakia.
Oh, Nakia.
Nakia.
All right.
Christy, yes.
All right. Okay. All right.
And my
Okay, miss. All right.
Okay, I can go ahead and continue speaking.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
All right. This other issue that I see and that I've heard, other parents talking about, maybe they don't want to speak, but for the science teacher, he oh gosh, um he doesn't communicate very well with parents, and that come across to me as being really insensitive, because if you do have a school or a class of so many children, at some point you may need to communicate with the teacher, being whatever the matter is. You can't just bump the parents off like that or ignore them. And I have seen that. Now I've heard parents talk about it, and I have tried to speak with him also, and it was just ignored. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I really don't like that. Just as though I can probably call Miss Ware or Miss Mills and speak to them. Whatever the matter is, sometimes it is unpleasant, sometimes not. But the science teacher really need to let up a bit, right? I don't know if any other parents agree with me, but it is a real issue in 8L.
All right.
This is
On
where.
the yes, you're here, Miss G.
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah, thank you. You know, I was going to text you. Thank you for being here.
I'm very happy that that parent spoke up. I got the information the other day, and we actually had a meeting with the teacher. I would love to speak to the parent on this issue. I do not want to put it out in this particular group, but just to say to all parents, once we get a complaint, we usually deal with it at school. If we do have your number, we will make contact. Parent, could you please give me a call? My
Okay, I
number.
will.
My
I
number.
know. Okay.
You know my number.
Yes,
Please
I
call
do.
me tomorrow morning, Miss. I will respond to you and let you know exactly what was the findings and everything, Miss.
Miss
All right,
Giddens.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Miss
so
Giddens.
yes, Miss.
Can I just make a suggestion since we're here and like my man is thinking? You could meet with them briefly one morning for devotion, because Miss Mids, most time some of your parents are on during that time, right? So you could probably just give them an update one morning at devotion.
All right, but
Can I
to speak to that
recommend
parent
8R be a part of that meeting to Miss Kidden,
Oh,
because we're
it's two
having the same
classes.
issue.
You see,
Yes,
one
all
of
please.
right,
I have
okay.
quite a few
All right,
students.
teacher, I don't want to do it in devotion. I would like to do it with the parents and the teachers.
Yeah, man, yes, that's what I'm saying. So probably Miss Mills could have an abbreviated devotion, and you just have that forum with the parents.
All right then.
Or
Okay then.
you and I could probably sort it out, and
All right.
I'll fix it with the form teacher and then update you.
Yes, but I still need to speak to that particular parent. All right. Okay then. Thank you.
Okay. All right. All right. Mr. Ledger says suggesting something to the parent who has a Zoom issue. I'm not sure what he's saying, but he typed something in the chat. That is Nakia's mommy, right? I think. So you can just look in the chat, Miss Christy. That's not your name, but you're Nakia's mom. He's made a suggestion on the data. All right, any other parent? There's one I'm seeing with their hand raised. That name is not so easy to call, so I don't want to mispronounce. So 2 hands are raised.
I swear.
Yes, sir.
I'm just suggesting that there's a monthly data plan. I know that is what my daughter uses for school. It's where she is she does not have access to Wi-Fi, and it's for the month, and it's roughly about $1,800, and it cover her for the month, and she's able to do all her classes.
Can you tell the parent which one of the networks?
I think it's Lime.
Oh, the Lime.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe you could try that.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. All right. Who is going to speak? Miss J.
Oh, just
Good evening, colleagues, parents, students. I would just like to commend Miss Mills as a form teacher, because I'm a parent too. And Miss Mills I've seen where Miss Mills has gone overboard to be there for her students. I really like what she's doing. And when I see her in the morning, especially at devotion with our 40th students, I wish that I could have the same experience with even a quarter of hers of those attendants for my class. Um, I do agree with the parent who spoke about the Zoom link for music, that is, where when students miss work because they cannot log in on a particular day, there is no classroom to go to for music to see what work was given for them to redo those things or to submit those things. I don't see any Google Classroom for music class for
You
8.
sure? You sure, Miss Trail?
Yes, and there's nothing in it. It's just a Zoom link. When I asked Mr. Morris for the classroom, it was a Zoom link that he sent to me.
No, man. There's supposed to be a classroom because remember, Mr. Powell has them. Mr. Powell had them, so it was a requirement of him to have a Google Classroom. Being on teaching practice, he could not just be having live classes. His lecturers would have to be going to a place where they were viewing what he would be doing with the class. So that's why I kind of asked him if you're sure, because the information sound a bit strange.
Well, when I asked for the Google Class code, it was a Zoom link that was sent.
Oh man, there should be a Google Classroom.
All
But
right,
that
so
would have been a requirement for his teaching practice. There's no way he could.
I know that Mr. Powell was using one, but is it Mr. Powell or is it Mr. Price that is the 8L music teacher?
But for most of last term, Mr. Powell would have had them. I don't know when Mr.
Not
Powell
for last
teaching
term,
practice
miss.
ended.
I agree.
Or if it has
because
ended.
I agree because I have seen the information and the PowerPoints that Mr. Powell sent for last term, but I'm talking about this term. I have not seen any of those things. Miss Mills would also post them in the graded classroom too if she sent them. I haven't seen anything, and then I'm seeing where it's Mr. Price that is the teacher for ETL. So I'm kind of confused. That's why I'm asking who is the
I don't think that is what is supposed to be happening. Not sure what is happening. Read the code. But all right, we can talk off the air about that and find out where the problem is. Because I wouldn't want to believe that is the case. I doubt it. I just think that there may be some miscommunication. I would be appalled if that were the case. But that should not be happening.
All right.
See somebody type in the chat that there's a code. All right, which other parent? Thank you very much, Miss Trail. Which other parent? Do we have Miss J?
We have Holden or Georgia.
Georgia. Dare to unmute. That person is to unmute.
Go ahead, you're unmuted, Georgia.
Okay, good night, Miss Ware. Good evening, everyone. Miss Ware, I have a terrible problem with the science teachers as well, because from early January I bring Georgia, Georgia is already, where we are in Clarendon is very far. And I take the textbook up there that he asked to drop off, and I was just asking him question and he didn't even stop to answer my question. What he said he don't have nothing to do with my issues. And I was just simply saying something to him that I am so far. I am way in Clarin that I am not nowhere near St. Catherine. And it's like he didn't care. I have to do something.
Okay. Or Miss G is here. Miss Gideon
And
is here.
he still have the earth. He did not say anything in class about the textbook or anything. So if I drop off textbook, Georgia don't see the textbook because he did not say when to pick it up. I just drop it in a drop box at his office, and that was it.
Okay. All right. So Miss Gideon is going to try and iron out the issue. All right. So don't lose heart. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
All right. All right. Next parent. Anyone else? Miss J?
Hello, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Cynthia Wolf Anderson here. I just want to commend Miss Mills, that is the form teacher for 8L. I continue to call her Mother N because of in the mornings when she has the students in for the devotion and the registration process. When it is congratulations, they are congratulated. When it is time to curse them out as a mommy hen would curse out the children, she does that quite well. I appreciate what she's doing with the students in grade 8L. I am the person who texted, so I'm just going to be asking about the way forward as it relates to assignments coming after Easter break. I was just asking if that was dealt with. Are we going to be seeing any improvement? What do we expect to get as of the time when the Easter break is over? And then again, I am not sure if I missed the introduction of the vice principal, and I haven't seen Mr. Gale. I was just wondering what is happening there.
Okay, Miss Gideon, you want to take that on or should I? You can manage if you're still with us.
Yes, I'm still here. Good evening, parents. Good evening again. Mr. Gale is on 4 months leave. Yours truly is Jennifer Giddens. She's acting on his behalf. So I was at the introduction. I spoke earlier. Apparently, you missed that introductory speech. With regards to, did she ask a question about textbooks?
I think so. She was asking about the way forward in terms of, I guess, how we are going to approach school for next term. If I'm getting you correctly, Miss Wolf.
I
hope I did not miss it.
Is she here, Mrs. Wolf?
She's still there, but she may be muted.
Okay. Yes, we are still, as far as we know, we will still be going on with online for the rest of the school. Hopefully, God's will, we will have face-to-face for the examination groups. And as soon as we get the examination groups squared off and settled off, then we may go ahead with some grade 10 students. However, grade 8, I don't think it will be for this term, Mrs. Ware. I don't think so.
No.
Our grade 9, I don't think so. So, yes, we are going to continue trying our best to see if we can get more gadgets for the students who still are using their phones. And I mentioned in my introduction about what we got 137 laptops for grades 10 to 13 path students. And that's from e-learning. And that's all we have right now. Hopefully we'll get some more tablets from our past students. So I think that should cover all that you have asked, Mrs. Wolf. If Mrs. Wolf Anderson, if there is anything else, please let us know. And you can give me a call, Mrs. Wolf Anderson. Thank you.
All right, what were you asking about the assignments, Miss Wolf? I'm not sure what you want to want clarification on, because assignments are ongoing and they are supposed to be submitted based on the deadlines given by the teacher. And we will be generating another report. So on the parent and you probably need to sit with the child and ensure that the due dates are adhered to. Not sure if I've answered your question.
Mrs. Ware, I'm going to allow Soyania, I'm not pronouncing her name correctly, to speak
Me neither,
now.
I'm afraid to call it.
Yes, can you unmute now? You can go ahead.
All right, good evening again. My concern is this morning with the FCM exam.
Yes, ma'am.
The video link wasn't loading, but the paper, they were able to do the paper. So would that be any, what you call that? Would that create any problems per se where the exam is concerned?
The child, who is the child? And what grade?
Zachary Jackson, 8C.
Zachary?
Yeah.
All right, so you say there were issues. He did not do the paper. He was unable to access it?
No, man. He accessed the paper, but the section where it says you're to click on the link for the video where the teacher, the exam, the invigilator is supposed to be seeing you, wasn't coming up.
Google Meet part?
Yeah.
Oh, no, man. That shouldn't be an issue. Once he did the paper and submitted it, that's
yeah,
fine.
because he said he did that, but that part wasn't coming up. So that was my concern, really.
Because of connectivity issues?
No, he had internet, but it was just not coming up.
Okay, I'm not sure what was the issue. So as long as he did the paper and clicked the submit button, I should be in receipt of the document.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem.
Ms. Ware, there is a person, Katie Ann Powell wants to speak. I'm going to unmute her shortly, but just in light of that question we just got, I'm reminding and encouraging parents, if your child is having a problem with a particular subject or class, if the class has a WhatsApp group, send a message in the WhatsApp group. If they have a Google Classroom, leave a class comment under the assignment or whatever it is, and the teacher will see it. Or you can message the teacher directly if you have their contact. Just go ahead and communicate as soon as you're able to, so that the teacher is aware and can take note of the difficulty that your child is having and take that into consideration. Don't know that you have a problem and just sit with it. Communicate as soon as you can, right? And even if the teacher may not get to you as quickly as you would want, we're still all operating on technology. They will see it and they'll make note of it and pass it on to the relevant teacher. So if the teacher has a WhatsApp group, post it in there. If they have a Google Classroom, post a message there. The quickest way you know have to get to the teacher that's the subject is regarding. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let Ms. Powell speak now.
Okay, I was wondering if something could be done in terms of the time span in which the examination should be done. Because one of the experience I've had with my son doing a test is that when I was given trouble, but then the test at a certain time to pick out a log of the term. But then I'm wondering doing another option to include 3 days to try to do the test and the Wi-Fi is down. Does the child have a choice of doing the test at another time, or the child is just going to get a 0?
All right, I am picking up bits and pieces of what you said. You are concerned that if the child is doing the exam and there is connectivity issue, if the child will be given another opportunity to do the exam. Is that what you're asking?
Exactly.
I did not even hear the response.
Well, that's okay. That's okay.
All right, yes. For the Mr. Legislator has started a program where the exams that were missed last week, they were assigned different days this week after the exam period for students to get an opportunity to do them. And I sent in the WhatsApp group today where the language department will be having the language paper be done tomorrow for those who missed it. So over the period, hopefully every now and then a teacher will update you and the child will get the opportunity to redo the exam. As for me and my exam, when I meet them, I will do my sorting out. When I see them face
Okay,
to face,
thanks.
I know the checks and balances there. I'm not going to use the exam
Mrs.
period to
Ware,
correct that. Yes, Miss J?
Mrs. Ware.
Yes, Miss?
I just like to remind everyone here that the Prime Minister's commands are over supersedes every other thing that we are doing. I know we have promised dates, but we cannot do anything right now. All the students who were promised dates for tomorrow or for the rest of this week to do the exams, it will have to be channeled on another day when we have gotten the go-ahead by the Prime Minister to go ahead with face-to-face. We are not allowed to have any of the students on the compound. As of today, leading up right up until the 13th of April. After that, we will ensure that all students who have missed some particular paper or something will work it out. So as soon as the exams are finished, just ensure that all the information gets to your grade supervisor, what exam the child missed, when, what paper, so that we can make special arrangements for those papers. All right, guys, thank you so much.
Okay. But I think the response I was given was for those who had virtual
Online.
issues, not the
Yes,
physical
online.
one.
Yes, great.
Yes, it was really for the virtual ones. But the opportunity is being created for those who miss the virtual ones for them to do it at different days at different intervals. All right, so that's it in terms of our Q&A. Miss J, that's it. That's our final question.
Yes, it is. That's it. No more hands are up.
All right, grade 8 parents, thank you very much again for your support and your cooperation. I can only continue to encourage you to help our children so that we can have a better future for them and we will not be held back or impacted too greatly in light of what is happening with the pandemic. I wish for you a safe, trust me, a really, really safe Easter because this pandemic is crazy. Please take care of yourselves, take care of our children, and let us see how best we can come out of this storm with our heads held high and looking to God because we have no other help or strength. He's our only hope right now. But all the best. Have a good Easter. Remember to go to church and have that time of reflection and take the children along with you. And I will see you in our next term. We will have another grade meeting come next term. So have a good
Go to
night.
church virtual.
Mrs. Ware? Mrs.
Yes.
Ware?
Yes.
Yes. I'd like to say commendation again to the form teachers. And just ask them to continue doing the great task that they have been doing.
Yes.
I've listened to how some of the parents spoke highly of the teachers and colleagues. I'm just gonna ask you to just continue doing what you are doing. You can only go from strength to strength. God bless you all.
All right. Thank you very much, Miss J. Thank you very much, my superiors, for your support. Thank you very much, my teachers, for being here. Have a good night, everyone.